What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Helmet to Helmet 49ers podcast. Today we'll be doing the Dolphins versus 49ers preview. So first, I want to start with injury reports. But before that, we are going to talk about some news that I found interesting on the 49ers website. So Jimmy Garoppolo said...
Oh yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo was interviewed by Michael Silver, and he was asking him about whether or not him being familiar with the 49ers and their offense and the teammates, whether or not that would make him stay after this season. And Garoppolo answered that, quote, "I think it would sway me, definitely, a little bit," unquote. So he told that to Michael Silver just a few days ago. So that's really interesting because, the whole Jimmy G soap opera that happened in the offseason, that was crazy. Where he was going to go, whether he's going to be traded or released, or it was a crazy story the whole offseason. But now it looks like it can still continue for next offseason. What will happen with Jimmy G?
No.
What do you think?
Okay, I feel like the Niners would sign for a backup quarterback. Of course, he'd obviously do that for cheap, but we're not going to want him if he wants a starting job, which I think he does.
Yeah, it all depends. It could depend on how he does this season. It definitely does. Two things maybe. If he wins the Super Bowl,
No way.
They'll probably bring him back as a starter then. Don't you think?
Well, Trey Lance, or forget about Trey Lance.
But if he wins the Super Bowl, that puts him in a whole nother tier now, a new tier of close to elite or very good.
We're just gonna make a whole different preview, whole podcast on that, just that one topic.
No, that's true. That could be something that will be something for the off season. The way things are looking, depending on how he does in the postseason. If he does do well, or say Garoppolo throws for 3 touchdowns, 350 yards in the Super Bowl, but they lose because something happens with the defense or the running game gets nothing. If he shows out very well in the Super Bowl or wins the Super Bowl, that could be the reason why the Niners will try and push to sign him, even though they have Trey Lance on the roster coming back from a season-ending
injury. But how is
injury.
that going to make Trey Lance feel? His morale's going to go down the drain.
No, that's true. It's
a young rookie. You just injured him, and then now you're just going to put a veteran quarterback over him. You can't do that. We've already injured him.
Yeah, it's either... Are we going to care about the Niners as a team and Super Bowl wins, or we're going to care about Trey Lance? And I don't know. Team comes over one player for sure. And I'm a Trey Lance fan, Trey Lance guy for sure. But I think if Jimmy G wins Super Bowl, then I think we should. If he shows us that he can do it, we should try and keep him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that was some interesting news that came about just a couple days ago from Jimmy G's mouth himself. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's do the injury reports. These players are all questionable. Spencer Burford, Charles Manhue, Devo Samuel, and Trent Williams. Spencer Burford had an ankle injury. He suffered that last game against the Saints. Charles Manhue, I guess he was injured, but they never said in the game. That's a knee injury. Devo Samuel, he was sticking up in the middle of the game, but he was fine.
I think that's a quad, right?
Quadricep.
What he's dealing with right now is a quad. I think last week it was a hamstring, but then now it's the quad.
Really close together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then this just happened yesterday. I'm really sad and shocked about this. Trent Williams, he has a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
He left practice.
And
he is questionable. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big loss, huh? He is one of our best players. and the whole team, and the best player on our offensive line. So losing him would be a big hit. That's scary. I hope he can play. He's questionable, so 50-50. Hopefully a little bit more than that.
Yeah. But I do think Burford, Charles Manhu, and Devo Samuel are going to play because they're limited in practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that they are going to play.
I think Trent Williams might be a game day.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure about. Some things I'm sure about, like who's going to play. Like last week I was sure about Alvin Kamara playing because he was full practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then next, this is a Dolphins injury report. Both of their tackles are out. Austin Jackson and the All-Pro Teron Armstead.
Wow, yeah. We've talked about this before. When Nick Bosa goes up against some backup tackle or a rookie tackle, we're just like salivating. We're just waiting for him to go off with like 3 sacks, but it doesn't happen. Somehow he gets negated. Maybe chip blocks, tight ends, running backs, they somehow stop him. I'm hoping for a multi-sack game from Nick Bosa.
This happens like 3 times every year.
Yeah, it does. There's injuries all across the NFL. So Nick Bosa will be going up against some backup or rookie tackles now and then, and he has to make the most of it. I'm just waiting for a 2 or 3 sack game from Nick Bosa. Take the lead in the NFL for sacks.
Yeah. Matthew Jones has 13. Bosa has 11 and a half. Parsons has 12 sacks. So right now, Nick Bosa is in 3rd place.
Yep. It's close. One big game from Nick Bosa can catapult him up to the top.
And a player is back. He's been out for a really long time. Surprised we didn't put him on IR.
Yeah.
Eric Armstead.
Ooh.
He's back.
I didn't think I appreciated him as much as I should have, because I think his help on the interior does many things. He can rush the quarterback pretty well. He can stop the run, and he also takes on the extra blocks. It helps linebackers and defensive ends be more productive with sacks and stopping the run and stuff like that. So, man, with Eric Armstead, I'm hoping this defense will go up another level, which is if that's even possible.
Okay, sorry to go to the negative side of Eric Armstead here. He hasn't had the best start of the season.
Yeah,
I heard.
I mean, he got injured pretty quick too. True. I think he's an upgrade over Givens and Ridgeway.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Ridgeway's not going to start. It's going to be Givens.
Just on top of that, I think that improvement will help a lot. So, yeah, I think he can be an important part of this defense and improve it even more.
Okay. Now we are done with injury reports. But do you think the 49ers could shut out the Dolphins in the second half? They have a streak, a 4-game streak, shutting out teams in the second half.
Wow, that is a hard streak to keep going, I'd say. That's an awesome streak, but a difficult streak. Because a long field goal could just break that streak, right? So,
yeah.
With the Dolphins' offense being one of the best in the NFL, I would say this streak might be broken this week. This is a great test for the Niners defense. Man,
Offense.
Because last time they went against an offense that was really good, a juggernaut, was the Chiefs, and they didn't do too well for many reasons. So this is another test. Now that we're back at almost full strength on defense and we're playing great, this is a great test where we are at as a team against the elite teams in the NFL.
The past few weeks we haven't gone against teams that are better than us. But this team, they have a better record than us. Tua has not lost. Can we break that streak? Who knows?
Yeah.
Can they break our streak?
If Tua plays a full game, he is, I believe, undefeated. So
Injure him.
They have great receivers and their scheme with Mike McDaniel, it works to Tua's strengths. So right now, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what will happen.
Okay, next let's do the important players of the game. I say two defensive players because we are going against a juggernaut of an offense. So I say Drake Jackson. I know that's a really surprising one because I chose him because his deflections they're important because Tua has bunch of weapons. So if we could deflect it and stop Tyreek Hill from getting first down and Jalen Waddle too, that'd help a lot. And Travis Ward, there's like 100% chance he is gonna guard Tyreek Hill.
You think he will be sticking with Tyreek Hill or sticking
The
to
entire
a certain
time.
side?
If the 49ers are willing to make Travis Ward switch sides against DeAndre Hopkins, they'll definitely do the same thing for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I like to see their strategy with the defense and what D'Amico Ryans is going to do to try and stop Tyreek Hill.
Nor is going against Jalen Waddle.
Those are both very tough matchups for any defense. Okay. All right. So for your important players that you think will be pivotal for a win for the Niners, mine are I'm choosing one from offense, one for defense. The offensive guy that I'm thinking about is Jordan Mason. This might be this probably will be his most carries in a game, and the most responsibility he'll be given. I think with CMC kind of nursing a injured knee, he might not be doing the running so much. He might be going out for short receptions more often than not. And since it's going to be a wet field, I think usually we go to the running game for that.
Yeah, it's raining. It's
So
raining hard.
if it's wet and the turf's not great, and throwing the ball might be difficult, maybe slightly difficult, they might lean towards the run. And the Dolphins actually have a very good run defense. So Jordan Mason, to be able to run the ball well, keep us having the ball, keep Tua off the field, control the clock on a wet turf would be very, very important. So Jordan Mason, that's mine. On the defensive side, I'm choosing Eric Armstead. Like I said, he's coming back from injury, and I think stopping the run and also putting pressure up the interior into Tua's face would be very important in winning this game. So those are my important players. How about yours? What do you have for predictions?
So I think these are going to be the best players of the game.
Okay, so best players. Okay. What's your choices?
I'm choosing George Kittle. It's about time he gets a 100-yard game. Against the Chiefs, he got 98 yards on tight end day, 2 yards away, but this couldn't get 100 yards. Hasn't gotten 100 yards so far this season. Hopefully he can.
All right, yeah, I hope so too. I hope George Kittle can explode.
Like, who's guarding George Kittle this game? I really do not know.
Yeah, I don't know. Their linebackers are not elite on the Dolphins. So, looking for George Kittle to go across, Kittle down the middle, and break some tackles.
For my defensive player of the game, I will choose Eric Armstead. He is coming back, and he's going to be important to stopping any run that the Dolphins give us. Whether it's Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, or maybe Tyreek Hill if they decide to do jet sweep or Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Edmonds, and like they have some weapons.
For me, some best players that I think will have a good game. I'm gonna have to throw up the T's for Hufanga one more time. The guy's a playmaker, and he'll be, playing the middle of the field for those intermediate routes going over the middle, which I think the Dolphins like to throw. He'll also be the deep safety too. Very important that one of the deep safeties playing against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So that would be very important too. On the offensive side, I think CMC will have a good game. A little bit of rushing, a moderate amount of rushing yards, but I think the short pass with him breaking some tackles here and there and juking people out, I think that'll be important. So I think he will be one. He will have a good game. CMC.
And scores. I cannot forget scores. I think this can be a high scoring game, so I'll say 31-28. I just feel like this game's gonna go into overtime.
Okay.
And we're gonna do a game-winning field goal.
I think we're gonna be hitting 26 to 21 Niners. Yeah, I think we're gonna. I don't think it's gonna be as high as a lot of people predict. I'm thinking of more of a score in the 20s. They'll score their touchdowns, like 3 touchdowns, but we'll match them and add a few more field goals. I think it will be slightly close, but we'll pull it out.
Well, that wraps up for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. I just learned how to turn on the comments.
Yeah, that's great. It
took me a while for some reason.
We'd love to read your comments and any suggestions.
Yeah, any podcast you want us to do, let us know. And check out my second channel, JT Dub, and go subscribe to that. And goodbye.